Hello, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to more League of Legends news. I hope you guys all enjoying. Before I get into the actual stories of today's video, I do want to say we're going to break down playoff matches, of course, in a couple of days as we approach semifinals and finals. I almost feel the need to say sorry. If you guys watch the pick'em videos, a lot of you guys left comments on that video, and I really do appreciate that. Of course, I was not expecting what did happen this past weekend. KT almost reverse sweeping IG with a rough start. The biggest surprise, of course, being Cloud9 3-0 in Africa, which really does bust my bracket. I might still get Baron, but either way, I'll touch on that in a little bit here, guys, and I almost want to say sorry for that. But more importantly, we had a couple big stories come out over this past weekend, or the 4 to 5 days, which I really do want to talk about. The first of which, a follow-up on a story. I'll link the video as well as the ESPN articles down below. We talked about the long list of players across EU. I think there was one North American player, Sven Skaren, who's technically not really American. We also had a bunch of LPL and LCK players accused of in-game toxicity, as well as a string of other offenses out there. There was also a very short list of players out there, as well as a coach from Africa. I think it was I Love Uv, who received anywhere from fines from $1,000 to $2,000. And I do want to actually follow up on this a little bit, guys. On top of that, it was actually Uzi who had received the max fines. He was actually a suspect of 2 of those occurrences, or 2 of those, apparently broke 2 of those rules as well. He was fined the max amount compared to any other player out there of just $2,000. But again, it was a follow-up story because we now have Dire Wolves. I was actually one of those players, Shernfire, who's the only player on that list, the only player whatsoever. There was a long list of players who were warned. There was a short list of players who were actually received their fines, and there was one player, that being Shernfire from Dire Wolves, who of course missed the first 2 games. He was suspended for 2 games of the group stage play-in games, and of course Dire Wolves did go out very early there as well, last place in their group. Nonetheless, though, it's actually Dire Wolves releasing Shernfire with no public statement as to exactly why. We can probably assume it was partially because, of course, his in-game toxicity. He was the one person to receive a ban, and again, it kind of goes into detail. We've talked about this, ESPN talked about this. It was because of what he said in-game, which apparently was so culturally insensitive, they have now released him from that entire roster. Why I'm talking about this is because Shernfire also took to YouTube to actually post a video about this a couple days after he received, or actually I think just the day of, he receiving his in-game suspension. I'm going to show you guys a bit of his response because there was a bit of backfire about this. He took to YouTube to post this very odd video. I'll show you guys a couple clips right now.
Hello everyone, making this video because probably most of you know right now that I've been banned for the first day of the World Championships. Yeah, just it feels a lot different to my last ban, which was in OPL. Like I feel like it's something that like has hit me pretty hard, but it's also something that like has made me realize a lot of things about myself and like my tendencies as a person. Like in Korean solo queue, I used to get away a lot with just using certain terms and like starting arguments or arguing back with like just players in solo queue.
And it does seem very likely of his cultural insensitivity. I don't know what he said. It must have been so tremendous. Of course, you know, Uzi broke 2 bans. I think he was not only actually throwing games on a separate account as well as breaking another offense as well. He only received a $2,000 fine. So whatever it was that Shernfire said must have been incredibly terrible. And the worst part about the entire video, guys, 2 minutes 38 seconds, no apology. It's seemingly no remorse, and the video ends very, very oddly like this.
How much of a privilege playing League of Legends is, you know. Not being able to play League for 24 hours is pretty rough for me.
So there wasn't much that went into it. So an update on that story, guys. It is now official that Dire Wolves will let him go. I'm going to assume probably safely that it was partially because of his in-game suspension, as well as the things and the remarks he did say. Although it does further question in the future, will these pro players, we have now, again, I want to kind of reiterate as well, kind of a hidden part of that story. All those pro players, I think it was a list of 15 to 20 players, including the ones who actually received fines, were warned in the future if they continue to do those offenses, they will have further punishment past just the fines. So just a follow-up story on that, but also more importantly as well, we had a huge story, finally a response from Nadeshot about the 100Theives situation. I'm sure many of you guys know about this. Not only the Meteos trade over to FlyQuest, on top of that though, even more importantly, I think more of a response from a community-wise was the lack of communication around, of course, the benching of Cody's son. They're bringing in Rakara, especially when it came time for Worlds. To give you guys a quick TLDR as well, the guy who pretty much carried this team between both summer split and spring split, both to playoffs. On top of that, when this team, that being 100Theives, was pretty much, they were certified out of that group. They were not going to move on anymore for that last game. He was still not played at Worlds. So I think a lot of people were really wondering as to why Cody Sun, after leading this team for so long, why was he not at least given a taste of Worlds, right? He definitely earned that. It was finally Nadeshot or Matt actually replying on YouTube. It was before this, guys. A Reddit clip had surfaced of him on, he was playing Call of Duty, and he actually responded during that stream as well. That was what kind of took to Reddit, as well as a huge hate post. It was, I mean, it was astronomical the amount of hate these guys did get for representing North America over a team like TSM, which again, I don't really have too much feedback on. These guys certainly earned it. Second place and fourth place finishes in those splits, and definitely a team that I thought when it came down to it was the better team. Although, you know, who would have performed better? You can never really answer that question. We'll never know who could have performed better. And in the first year of this organization being in existence, you cannot doubt the success they've had. So to give you guys a quick TLDR of Nadeshot's video, pretty much a lot of apologies. Also a promise of transparency, communication in the future, which at the end of the day is all you can really ask. You know, after this whole thing surfaced on Reddit, alongside that, Travis Gafford came forward with his own video. I'll link that down below for all of you guys if I do remember. He brought up great points, saying pretty much, you know, Nadeshot was at all the LCS matches, but he was not at Worlds. Of course, there were plenty of things going on. Blackouts release, and I'm sure he had some sort of management involvement or a lot of things going on with running the organization itself. He's definitely a busy guy. Yes, you can bring up the point of other organizations having their owners there. They make time for it, but, you know, with this org being so fresh, and you never really know what his schedule was like, and I'm sure he was plenty busy doing so. The main issue that Travis did bring up, though, that there was no 100Theives management, besides that being Nadeshot, who was not at Worlds, who was actually willing or allowed to interview, allowed to speak out about this topic, which kind of course, added to that upheaval, added to that uproar by the community out there. So Nadeshot has responded. Allegedly, guys, next year, we're going to get a lot more communication, a lot more, hopefully, interviews, including Nadeshot, and just hopefully going to figure out what's going to happen in the future. Although the question was not answered, you know, the overall question as to why Cody Sun was of course not given that chance at Worlds. What happened there with Rikara being brought in, even though it was obvious to us as a community who was the better laner there. Instead, though, it was their choice, and at the end of the day, it's their choice. So I wonder what you guys think about that. The 100Theives drama hopefully going to cool down here as we approach next year's splits, and again as we close out Worlds here with some crazy things. Now, speaking of crazy things, the team who's not even at Worlds, of course, that being SKT and their man Faker. Just in case you guys were curious about this, he still leads the world in LCK All-Star votes almost by 30%, as he almost has 40% of the overall vote, which to me, I feel bad for Bang and Peanut. It is absolutely, it's insane to see this guy's following, even after pretty much not playing the entire last split or the entire last year in general. 40% of Korean fans still think he is the all-star. And also, very lasting stories out there, and again, in a couple days we'll probably break down playoffs. I'm gonna try to break down the quarterfinal results. Maybe I'll wait till after Worlds even concludes, because it's been so shocking so far. Even more shocking are the allegations right now, apparently, that RNG threw their series against G2, which I think is, in all honesty, across the Asian scene, across many esports, we have seen things like this before. So it makes sense for a conspiracy theory to pop up like this with a team like G2, probably one of your more underdog teams, although I put them through. I'm sure many of you guys did as well. And you could have said that some of the plays made were a bit, I guess, not even suspicious, right? Some mistaked plays by Uzi himself. But if you look at the emotions of the team, right, especially a guy like Uzi who made those mistakes, he was the first guy off stage. Rushed off stage. I think he was in tears or crying. And from what I've seen, it looked like it, you know, never a clear image as well, because he rushed off stage so fast. The emotions were there, as well as thanks very much to Leet. I'm going to actually link his Twitter down below. He did translate as well RNG's official post. So thanks to Leet Sniper. Here's a translation, guys, of what RNG did respond to that allegation. Regarding our performance at 2018 Worlds, we once again apologize to our fans. We will accept any criticism and reflect on our mistakes. There are currently some false rumors regarding RNG and match fixing. These are very serious accusations which we are astounded and furious by. In the 6 years since our conception, we have always maintained a fair play and never give up attitude that we will never betray. Regarding these baseless and irresponsible claims, we will pursue legal actions to redeem our team and players' reputations. Regarding our loss, we will make the necessary adjustments. We thank our fans and we are sorry for disappointing you. We hope you will continue to support us. So obviously RNG taking this very seriously, and I would not be one to now toss out allegations out there because of their legal team and how serious they sound, and I never was in the first place. So that's it for the rumors and stories we've seen the past few days. Leave a comment down below what you guys think. Again, we do approach semifinals and finals this weekend, which I am, of course, very excited for, although the team I did pick to win it all is now out, and maybe they shouldn't be, but that's the stuff I gotta live with. So I hope you guys all enjoy. As always, my name is Jake. I'll see you guys back here in a couple days. Welcome back to the Esports Talk Show, guys, and again, daily videos here on the channel. Thank you all who have subscribed, who are leaving comments down below. I really do appreciate it, but as always, I'll see you next time.